Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited for you to join us on our 80th episode for the Moana Nui podcast. Before we get started, we're going to definitely introduce ourselves so that way you can get to know us right before we kick it off. So I'm going to have Moana introduce herself first.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Moana McAdams, and I am the founder here at the Moana Nui podcast, also a children's book author for The Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea, editor and publisher for Burning Spear Comics and the Wildcard Chronicles, and champion and lover of our independent communities. And we're going to keep this short and quick tonight because we have a guest who is very busy and she needs her beauty rest. So I'm going to turn it back over to Dana and she will kick us off.
All right. Well, we're very excited about today's special guest. Growing up in Stockton, California, Nakia was introduced to musical theater and performance in elementary school. While attending Edison High School in Stockton, California, Nakia auditioned for UCLA's prestigious theater department. She was the only African American female freshman accepted into the theater department that year. By the time she was a junior, her professional career had begun. She booked her first role as a series regular on Power Rangers as Tanya Sloan, the Yellow Power Ranger, while simultaneously recording her first pop album with her singing group Divine. Along with her television, voiceover, and web series credits, she has appeared in numerous films, national commercials, musicals, and print ads. In 2012, Nakia launched her own production company dedicated to producing family-friendly television, web series, and films. And then 2020, she teamed up with her fellow Power Ranger, Catherine Sutherland, to launch their YouTube channel, Power Rangers Playback, which is also on TikTok. Nakia has been an avid leader in her community for years and launched her nonprofit in 2009, A Day in the Life, introducing inner city children to career and life opportunities that are not readily accessible in their community. Additionally, she continues to pour back into her community by leading women's group for over 10 years and assisting nonprofit organizations both physically and monetarily. And now we're very excited to have the very own, the, I mean, what else can we describe her? There's not enough words in the dictionary to describe her. The incomparable, the multi-talented Nakia Versi. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. So sweet. That was so sweet. Thank you so much. I'm
Well,
very honored
thank
to be here.
you. We're so very excited to have you part of the show. And I mean, anyone who's grew up with Power Rangers, it's like, we can hear the screams all over the US right now.
Thank
So,
you.
of course, when we get started with our show, we ask our guests to give their pico or their origin story. So, tell us a little bit about yourself that I didn't give in your introduction of where you're from and a fun fact about your hometown.
Mm. I actually was born in San Diego, California. I don't know if that's in my bio. It might be. And I lived there until I was 2, and then my parents moved back to Stockton, where they grew up, and the rest of our family was. And for me, when I look back, because I live in Los Angeles, and such a huge city, Stockton was very tiny. We had 5 exits, but to me, when I was there, I was like, oh, I'm in a big city. Yes, I am. But I always knew that I wasn't going to stay in Stockton because there's no television industry there. There's no entertainment industry. The closest would be San Francisco, which they had some, I did do some work out there as well, but I knew that once I came to Los Angeles, that I was not going to turn back. I was not going to go back home. But all of my family still lives in Stockton. my parents still live in Stockton, my cousins, my brothers, everybody still lives there. And I see them often, well, before COVID, used to go out there for holidays and stuff like that, or vice versa. We vacation together. But yeah, a fun fact about Stockton. Well, it's definitely grown. And, that's not really a fun fact, what I was going to say, because it's not really fun. But we became quite known, Stockton became quite known as a not so great place to be in 2008 when the housing market declined, because it became like number 5 murder capital, which was just, awful. People were going berserk. Now it's gotten a lot better. It's just had so many ups and downs. The city declared bankruptcy. Like, it's just been awful. But now they're, starting to build up and get things together in Stockton. But my family and friends are well, praise Jesus. And and my family in Los Angeles as well. So we're all good.
Oh, very good to hear. So we're so glad that things are better. Your family is safe. So we're definitely happy about that.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Now, a fun fact that we discovered was that both you and Karen have in common as 2 generations of the Yellow Ranger are that you're both singers. Karen was a member of Crush and you were a member of Divine. How did your musical journey begin?
That's so funny. That is so true. I didn't even think about that. And both of us had, I think she had 3 members in her group and we had 3 members. So actually, when I was on Power Rangers, my manager, was it my manager? Someone approached me, a friend of mine approached me. There were 2 girls looking for a third girl. And they approached me to join the group because they had already been together for a very short time. And they approached me to join the group, and I met them and I really, really liked them. We worked out a little deal. We ended up recording an album. And, after a while, our album actually was sold, I guess, in Japan. But there were some just, in the entertainment business, there's always some sketchy stuff sometime. And there were just some things that I was questionable for me. And so I ended up leaving the group, not because of the girls, but because of some contractual things that I didn't agree with. But I remember in 1997, because I was recording the album in 1997, I was filming the Power Rangers Turbo movie in 1997, and I was so exhausted. I remember we would have long shooting days until, we'd start at 6 o'clock in the morning and then wouldn't end till 7 o'clock at night. And then I would have to drive from San Pedro all the way to the Valley, which is like a 2-hour drive, to go do my recording. But the interesting thing was I was doing everything that I wanted to do. Like, these are things that were like answered prayers. And I was like, thank you, Lord. But I remember, and I'm saying this to you guys because you got to watch what you pray for. I was sitting in my hotel room, and I can remember to this day, I was laying there exhausted, and I was like, Lord, I just want to rest. That was not the right prayer to pray. Because literally, a couple months later, my contract ended with Power Rangers, and I also ended up leaving the group. This was all in the same year, a few months after that prayer. And so when you pray to God, be specific and really think about what you want. Because I could have said instead, Lord, help me to balance this out. Show me how to orchestrate, my dreams. These are the dreams that I asked for. But now I'm just like, oh, please rest. I don't want to do this. Like, no, I don't do that anymore. And I don't pray for patience either, because he will give you opportunities to be patient. So I just want to warn you on that one too.
Sure.
Well, definitely. It's one of those that we got to be, like you said, watch what we ask for. So yeah, you got to be very, very specific.
Yes.
So, of course, we've heard such a range of when people began filming with Power Rangers. So how old were you when you started with Power Rangers, and what were some of the experiences that you feel were unique and special as you took the path of a young actor?
I was 21 and I was a junior at UCLA in the School of Theater at the time. So I was actually balancing college and my shooting schedule. And you will hear me talk about God all the time because it was literally the grace of God that got me through, because I ended up graduating while I was still on Power Rangers. It took me 4 years and a quarter. And my mom had encouraged me. She said, I know that, we're excited about you having this job, but please don't give up your college career, graduate so that you have something to fall back on. And I'm so happy that I took her advice, because once I left the show, I didn't automatically have another show to go to. I had, a job here, a job there, but it was nothing consistent. And I was able to use my college education, my degree, so that I could teach. I could substitute teach, because it allowed me to still audition. I could choose when I wanted to teach and when I didn't want to. And so it was definitely a blessing to continue to do both. It was hard, but to continue to do both was great. I also learned that just to be appreciative and enjoy the moment. Like when I look back at being on Power Rangers, I did enjoy being on the show. I remember sitting inside of my dressing room and just looking around and just saying, oh my gosh, this is just such a blessing. My name is on the door. Like it was the first job, woo, thank you. I think that, leaving the show, I probably would have made some different decisions. Like with my agency, I would have probably asked for endorsement deals and things like that. But I didn't know all of that at the time. I was new to television, new to the film industry. But, we grew as a family. And every time that we have conventions like RangerStop and Pop, which is going to be next week, it's like a huge family reunion with Power Rangers. And we just keep adding every year to our family, because every year there's a new cast, and we just have grown to like 150 family members. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible when we all get together.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to meet you and a lot of your friends and family. It's one of the things that we love about doing the podcast as well. Very, very similarly, right? We started it small. We just keep expanding and growing the family. So thank you for being a part of our family now.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes, now you're part of the Moana Nui Ohana.
That's right.
I love that. Does that mean, what is that? Is there a meaning to Moana Nui?
Yeah, so the literal translation is the vast ocean, but the more deeper meaning of what I wanted to convey is the connection between indigenous peoples around the world, and the ocean being the thing that connects everyone. And that's kind of what we're, trying to bring here with the podcast, is highlighting the similarities, instead of the differences, because the world does so much to divide. On this show, we want to bring people together. So that's the bigger meaning.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. No, thanks for asking. I don't get to explain that too often. So thank you.
It's a beautiful name.
I appreciate it. We do love Moana. Not myself, but the movie. I do love myself. I do, but I'm not like that. You people who know me knows I'm not like that. But let's talk about Ranger Pop and Pop, because I am Stop and Pop. I always get those.
A lot of people do that.
Up in just over a week, Atlanta. How did the con originate, and how did you get involved as the co-founder? And what are some things that fans can expect to see and experience this year for your second year?
So Karen and I have been working together for actually a couple of years. We started with her project, The Order. Oh, actually, we kind of started before that, because I had a web series that I wrote and produced called Class Dismissed. So I had her guest star on there. And while I was producing Class Dismissed, she was writing The Order movie, which would have starred, like 20 Power Rangers. And then I came on as a producer afterward for the graphic novel. And we talked about, owning a con one day. Like, why not? We attend them. we know a little bit about it. We've been doing it for a long time. And, we've been friends with Michael Bioni for several years. And he's had his convention in Orlando for like 8 years. And so he, has basically been running it and also been a vendor. So we have the exhibitor side of things as an exhibitor, experienced exhibitor, and business owner. As a business owner myself, I own a couple of businesses outside of conventions. So just knowing how to run a business and also being a guest at cons. And then we have Karen's experience, she's been going to cons for, several years more than I had. She started way before I did. So with all the combined experience, we were like, let's do this. And so I remember Mikey and I were at a convention at the time, and Karen happened to be home that weekend, and she was looking for facilities for us. So she had called a bunch of places to try to see where we were going to have it. And then she told us where she found. And then we were like, at the time it was the Sheraton Hotel. And that's where we had our first year in 2019. We felt like we wanted to bring Rangers to Atlanta. You guys have MomoCon, which is all anime. You have Dragon Con, which is just a bunch of different, so many different elements. There's not anything that's specific, but Rangers have such a cult following around the world, which I would have never known existed until I started attending conventions. And so we thought it would be really, really great to bring Rangers and pop culture artists, anime, other pop culture artists to our convention. And that's how we started RangerStop and Pop. So we have a lot of Rangers coming, and we also have some anime stars, some really, really great anime stars as well. And then we have Johnny Young Bosch, which is in the in both worlds. He's a huge anime star and a huge Power Ranger star. So he's like in the middle, just standing there. We have Chris Sabat, who is a huge Dragon Ball Z, plays All Might. I mean, he's played a million characters. We have Leah Clark, Elizabeth Maxwell, Jason Liebrecht, all our anime. Then we have the full cast of Beast Morphers. We have Time Force. We have some of the original Rangers, the original Blue Ranger, David Yost, the original Red Ranger, Austin St. John. We have a ton. You can go to RangerStopAtlanta.com and check out all of our guests. We are going to have a fantastic time. Friday night, we have pajama party. Hopefully nobody be showing up with like G-string underwear because it's family friendly, but family. Do what you do. And then Saturday, we're going to have a VIP dinner. So those that have paid for VIP tickets. We're going to have so much fun. Karen hosts that one. Mikey is going to be hosting the Friday night party. And then after the VIP dinner ends at 9, I take over and we have a game night party. Ooh. And we do my annual, I am such a game person. So we do our annual musical chairs, adult style. And you also win a prize. The winner wins a prize. When we did it the first year, oh my gosh, it was freaking hilarious. Adults were knocking children over off the and it was comedy, but it was so fun. Musical chairs is just like the greatest. So we'll have a couple of games, but then we're also going to have dancing and partying. It's going to be off the chain. But we have, exciting vendors and artists. Going to be a lot of things for sale. We're going to have you guys there doing a live podcast, right? We're going to have the RangerStop and Pop lounge for the first time that we're starting this year. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
So what I'm hearing is I need to take a really long nap before this event.
Yes.
Because she didn't even tap into Power Rangers After Dark. She hasn't tapped into that one either.
No. Oh.
Yes. Speaking of artists,
Michael has been drawing you as you were talking.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yes. So we do Mike at the beginning. Guys, y'all know Mike. He's our wonderful sponsor. He comes and brings the flavor to the show every once in a while when we have our special guests. So we definitely wanted to hook you up with some awesome art from this wonderful and talented human being here.
Yes. He was
Wow,
the same gentleman that drew Karen when he came on our show too.
Mm-hmm.
oh, how beautiful. Wow. Thank you. I'm looking all thin and everything. Thank you.
But you still are thin.
Right?
All I
I
can
don't know.
say is
I don't know what
you've got some really
what
good
she's
reference images
saying.
out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Now,
it.
of
That's
course.
awesome.
Now you have to explain to everybody because a lot of people don't understand about Power Rangers After Dark. So
Mm-hmm.
for you have to tell them what it is and why it is the phenomenon that it is at Rangers Stop and Pop.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. I have never gone to any of the After Dark panels because I just choose to not get myself in trouble. So I don't go. So I hear about everything that happens there. But so Rangers After Dark is a place where you cannot record. It is things that have not been put on the internet. It is the behind the scenes of the behind the scenes where you get to hear about actual relationships that were happening. You get to hear, deep down dirty things that may have transpired on set, may not have transpired on set. You get to hear some secrets. They just, they get down and dirty in there.
Oh man.
I know.
That sounds like it's worth the whole trip just for that.
Yeah, Karen got caught in
Right?
there. Karen got caught in there.
Yes. She's told me. So yeah, I've heard, kissing things happening with guests, between guests, and shots happening. And I'm like, hey, do what you do. That's my resting time. I get to go upstairs and take a nap before the next party. So, but it's our fans and the guests that have attended have had a phenomenal time. It is definitely the thing to do. Just be mindful when you do come. You will not be able to record. If you are caught with your phone, you will be asked to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just be graceful and enjoy the ride.
Yes. Enjoy the inside secrets and don't mess it up for everybody else. Thank you so
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So of course, just us doing your introduction, we gave a tip of the iceberg of that you have done a lot of acting work in both television and film to include like Barbie Dreamhouse with Mattel, Danger Force with Nickelodeon, Heart of Dixie on CW, of course Power Rangers. You even was as I got to see, I was watching some old episodes of Bones, and there she came on screen. I had to take a picture of like, look who I just saw on TV. I mean, she was even on Bones and much more. Which experience was the most fun for you and why?
There are some characters that I've got to play that I've really, really, really enjoyed. My current character right now on Danger Force is Angela Macklin. I play the mom of two superhero twins, which is just full circle. It's so funny. Yeah, my twins on the show are superheroes, and of course, the mom never knows. But that is so fun. The family that we've created, the chemistry between the Antonio, who plays my husband, and my kids, we just gel so much. And it's so fun to play. So I enjoy being on set there. Moesha, when I was on Moesha many years ago, I remember creating that character. And I remember going to that audition. I had 2 auditions that day. And I remember telling my agent, because I was not feeling well, I was like, I can't do the other audition. I'm just going to go to this one because I had really worked on it and I really wanted to go. And I ended up booking it. And it was supposed to be 1 episode, but they liked my character so much that they kept bringing me back. And so it was fun playing that Joy character because I got to change my voice. And I love when I get to change my voice sometimes and become like this different person. So Joy was a lot of fun to play. on Heart of Dixie, being part of the Patti and Prissy Pritchett sisters. That was a lot of fun. That was supposed to be one episode as well. And they kept bringing us back. I remember at the audition, I knew I was auditioning for a sister. There were going to be sisters. And we went in there individually, right? And then we had the callback, and they partnered girls up. So they partnered Nicole and I up. And I remember we were inside the lobby, and I was like, okay, we have to go in there and look like we are actually sisters. So maybe there's, signs that we do, there's facial expressions that we do for it. So we really practiced this. We went inside of there, and it felt so good. It felt so good. And we heard later that after we had left, they really didn't pay attention to anybody else that came, because she had a friend that came. But that is so heartwarming to hear that, that you did a good job, and that they ended up, they ended up casting us and bringing us back for 2 seasons. So that was a lot of fun as well. Barbie's Life in the Dream House. That is fun, because you could just show up in your pajamas. Seriously. For voiceover, you ain't got to look any particular way. You just got to bring your voice. And Scott Page, who worked at Power Rangers, is the voiceover, the ADR coordinator. He ended up start working for Mattel. And so he would call me in for auditions. And so I had booked a movie called Mermaid's Tale 1. And I played Barbie's best friend. And so they decided to make a part 2. And so I reprised the role. And from there, I just start booking things. And they ended up asking me to do the role of Nikki. And that in Barbie's Life in the Dream House. That was so fun. If you guys ever get a chance to watch it on Netflix, seriously, I have adults that come to my table and like, oh my gosh, they're like, the Barbies think they're real, number one. And there's some adult humor in there too. So the adults can watch it and the kids, and they all crack up. It's really, really fun. A lot of fun.
I can attest to that. I have 3 daughters. They've all watched it. We've all sat down and watched it.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Yay. A lot of fun. You are so talented, Mr. Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's see. We got a question from the audience. Nakia, if you could have starred on Power Rangers Hyperforce, what would you have liked to do for your episode and plot of it?
I heard, I haven't watched any of the full episodes, but I believe they played games, and then they would have to come up with, they would have to improvise and come up with characters on some of them. That would have been fun. I'm a game person, and coming up with characters, that's me. So that would be my answer to that. I didn't follow all of the episodes. I know that I'd spoken to Melissa after that, and after the season had ended, and she was talking to me about coming in on an episode, but it didn't end up getting picked up again. So dang it.
That's a great question, Andrew. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them luscious lips.
Oh no, my lips are pretty full. You're making them look even fuller. I like it. I like the pose too. Thank you.
Oh,
not a problem at all.
Andrew said Karen Ashley was a guest star on the show. It was the D&D Power Ranger game that she participated on.
Oh, okay. I remember her. Was it Karen? I remember Erin Cahill was talking about her time on there. She was like, I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on, but I just had to try to gel with it. So it seemed like a really fun time, that they were having a really fun time on Hyperforce. Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe I could come on in the future. We'll just have to see.
Hey, all right, audience, yeah, we know how fans can do. Just keep suggesting it, and then, poof, we can say you heard it first on the Moana Nui podcast, because the fans demanded, and next thing we know, in 2022, we're finding out Nakia is on the next episode of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, when Hasbro bought it, they they changed a lot of things. A lot of the employees that were a part of that had transferred over from Saban over, they had changed a lot of things, and so they decided to get rid of Hyperforce as well. So, who knows what the future holds? So many changes in this world, and so many changes in the entertainment industry. You just don't know, but we'll just have to see. I'm looking cute there. I got eyelashes and everything. I was like, look at my eyelashes. They're cute.
Well, I've learned from drawing a couple other Power Rangers that eyebrows and lashes are very important.
Yes, they are. I was just looking at myself today. I was on set yesterday, and they put, they'll put lashes on me, but it wasn't what I discovered that I was allergic to the eyelash glue when I was on Heart of Dixie, because they would put they would do beautiful makeup and then put the eyelashes on, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I love them, but my eyes would start getting red and irritated. And then like the last 2 episodes, I was like, guys, I can't wear those. And I didn't know what it was. And then later I found out that I'm allergic to latex. But I like eyelashes. And so, but even when I use, like they put eyelashes on me last night on set, there's still something. I don't know if it's the fibers, if it's the eyelash, like fiber, like the lashes itself being synthetic. If those are irritating my eyes too. So I don't know. We're talking about eyelashes on here.
Maybe they can get you some magnetic lashes.
I tried those, but I kept seeing the magnets. Like I'd be looking at, and I'd see the little magnets, and so it would like distort my vision. I know, it's crazy.
Goodness. Okay, yeah, we got to get you. They didn't get you the right pair. We got to make sure we get you the right pair and everything.
Oh,
that way
okay.
we can make it look like you got a mini fan on your eyelashes. It'd be like you just did.
No, we don't want that. We don't want. I mean, I've seen people where they look like they have like an extra person, a bear, where you can't even look through your eyelash. I can't do that. My husband would be like, I actually came home once because I had gone to an eyelash technician, and I remember looking at I was looking in the mirror, and I was trying to see because it was so much hair. I was trying to look through the hair, and I came home and I was like, because I needed a second opinion. I was like, babe, and he was like, honey, that's a lot of lashes. That's a lot of hair there. You look like you might have a bear on your eyelid. So I had to like pluck some of them off so that it didn't look so furry and fuzzy. Yeah, that was funny. That was fun times.
See, then that could be like a running joke. Have those that have the feathers on it, and then you could tell Karen you're going to fan her off with your eyelashes. Right.
That would be awful, Dana. No. Oh gosh.
Oh goodness. But yes, as you know, Michael is putting the magic on here. Of course. Now, you mentioned VIP. Are there any VIP tickets still available for RangerStop and Pop, or are they all sold out and everybody has to wait until next year?
This is amazing. This year, we sold out of VIPs. We've sold out of artist tables. We've sold out of exhibitors tables.
Wow.
So we are sold out of everything, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to have to wait until next year and make sure that you get your tickets early.
Yes.
Make sure you get your tickets early. That's the thing. And even exhibitors, we have a waiting list right now. So next year, make sure that you guys pop on it as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you guys now.
Okay.
Moana, what made you decide to start your podcast? And how did Dana join?
Oh, that's a
Here's
great
my microphone.
So the podcast is something that I had been thinking about doing for probably 2 years before I actually took action. But what kind of got me off the ledge, I can't remember what the saying is, was just like during the pandemic, you know, we had so many conventions planned because we had just published my first children's book, and we were gonna, we had all these things lined up, and then all those plans went to down the toilet with a lot of other people's plans. But one thing that I was seeing online was like we were missing the ability to connect as creators, as fans, just as people, as community. And also, like, as creators, we get so busy working at the shows and talking and engaging with our fan base that we hardly ever get to communicate and connect with one another. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to start it, because I was like, oh, let me see what my friends are up to. Let's talk about the projects. Let's help their existing fan base and new folks understand more about like what inspired them to create, their journey along it, how they, as a person of color or a creator of color, what were some of their obstacles? How do they incorporate their culture and, different aspects of their own personal individual journeys into their stories, and just trying to kind of create community when it was really hard for us to not be in person. So that's what started it. How Dana got involved is we had some mutual friends online, and we had been talking about, I can't remember the specific topic, but it was something that we
How
were
to
both
get
passionate.
voices more for the indigenous and
Yes.
BIPOC community. We started talking about that.
Yep, that's right. And we were talking with Tara, who's another player, and I was like, hey, we should, do something together to make some progress against this, this problem that we're having in the community. And we're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. We left it kind of like open-ended. But then when I decided to start the podcast, I had watched one of Dana's panels that she had put together for a company. It was a holiday concert. And I was like, oh, those would be some cool people to have on the podcast. And so I was like, hey, Dana, can you connect me with some of those folks? I think it would be great to have them on the show. And eventually, I asked Dana to co-host with me because she was already connected and had built rapport with them. And I was like, hey, you want to join me? Help me run this particular episode. And, we just got along so well. We complement each other. And, she's kind of been, initially it was like, okay, come on another one. And then eventually I was like, okay, I think we're doing really good with this. Would you like to officially become my co-host? Like, I was a little hesitant at first because it's a level of commitment, right? To be on a podcast and do this seriously. Because all the things that I've put myself into, like if I'm going to do it, I don't like to half-ass things.
Yeah.
But Dana was like, she was up for it. And the rest is kind of history. Here we are, episode 80.
Yes.
Wonderful. So you guys started in 2020?
Yep. During the pandemic. Yep.
So we, Kat and I, Catherine Sutherland, who played the Pink Ranger, we started a YouTube channel last year, January. So it was before COVID had hit. And we came up with the idea when we were at a convention in Scotland, and we were right next to Nolan North and Troy Baker, who are really known voiceover actors and, actors. I think they've started other things as well, but they had started a YouTube channel, and they had a really long line. And then there were these shirts that said Retro Replay. And we were like, what is Retro Replay? What is that? And they were like, that's a YouTube channel. And and they were best friends and just seemed to be getting along so well. And they played on their channel, they play video games, and they played video games. They no longer have the channel together anymore, which is sad, broke my heart. But it was seeing them that we literally that weekend came up with the idea of Power Rangers Playback, because, we go to cons and our fans ask us about various episodes, what happened in episode 356 and what did you feel that way and da-da-da. And we're like, that's what we should do. We should play back our episodes and talk about it. And so we had recorded a few episodes, and our first episode was set to air. We get copyright claims the day that it's going to air. And I'm freaking out. I'm talking to Kat and I'm like, oh my gosh, we launch in like 4 hours, 5 hours. What are we going to do? So our 20-minute episode became 5 minutes because we had to cut that much out. Hasbro and Toy Company, which are the Japanese owners of Power Rangers, would not allow us to play the video footage. I wrote them. It was like we were part of the show. And so it just completely like messed up our idea. We were so excited about it. And so I remember really praying to God and saying, okay, Lord, this is something that we've committed to start doing. What are we going to do? Because we can't play episodes where we're watching the videos. Like, we're going to get copyright claims. And then if you get 3 strikes, then you're out on YouTube. Like, they'll shut your channel down. And so I'm a late night person, typically, not lately. I've been real tired and all that kind of stuff. And Kat is an early riser. So I would come up with these ideas. I'd pray and I'd come up with these ideas at night, and I would like tell her about it in the morning. So one night oh my gosh, I just had a ton of ideas. This is what we could do for our channel. And it was really great. So I say that the copyright issues that we had was an absolute blessing because it forced us to come up with original ideas for our channel. So we came up with a game show called Who Knows It Best, which we're actually going to be playing at RangerStop and Pop. It's going to be one of the panels where fans are going to go head to head. Normally we have Power Rangers against Power Rangers or Power Ranger against a fan, and it's in and you're going up against each other in Power Ranger trivia. And our fans can tear us up. Like, they know a lot more than I do. Like, I really have to study. And so we have a game show called Who Knows It Best. We're going to be doing that at RangerStop and Pop. We're going to have fans going up against fans. They're going to win a prize. The winner wins a prize, and the loser has to eat a disgusting sundae. And let me see what Sundays look like, because the winner gets to decide what kind of toppings are on the sundaes. Sardines and hot Cheetos and salsa and enchilada sauce. What else have we had? We've had onion dip. We've had jalapeno. Like, it's, yeah. And I've lost before, so it's like, and you gotta eat it.
Do you have to eat the whole thing, or is it just one scoop?
It's more than one scoop. The winner has to decide how many spoonfuls they have to eat. So if you're kind, they'll be like, 3, 4, 5, but it's never like one. It cannot be one, because that's just defeats the purpose. So
I need to know when this panel is, because
it's on Saturday. I think it's at 3:00. Yeah, please attend. So on Power Rangers Playback, we have we just interviewed Melody Perkins yesterday, who was she played the Pink Ranger and also one of the villains. We have live interviews. We have Who Knows It Best. We have Power Cook-Off. We have what else do we have? We have skits where we play different characters. So we have just a variety. It's like a variety show on our YouTube channel, but that all came from us getting copyright claims.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to come up with some.
Now people can even see you on TikTok now.
That's right.
Yes. Now we haven't been like, it's just, I remember when Kat was like, Kia, we got to do a TikTok. I was like, oh my gosh, it's just like another task to do. Because you have like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and then Facebook. And I was like, I'm overwhelmed. Yes. Like, it's just a lot. I mean, I know that TikTok is taken off. I have friends that have 2.2 million subscribers and all that, but it's like, I'm exhausted. Like, that's a lot. Like, I don't know. Yes, we do have a TikTok. It's called Power Rangers Playback. You can check that out as well. Thank you, Dana, for plugging that.
No problem. That Kat and you sound like me and Moana, because that Kat is basically me. I'm like, Moana, okay, we're gonna set up a TikTok. She's like,
yes.
I'm like, girl.
I was like, okay, no, we gotta get our Instagram going. She's like, I was like, I'll handle it. Okay.
Yeah, there's so many platforms, and I'm like, I've stopped here. Like, that's it, because there's too many. And then when you're also producing things, and you have RangerStop and Pop, and then I'm also acting, and it's a lot. Unless you have an assistant that's going to do it. And I was going to hire an assistant, and I just haven't done it yet.
Yes,
Well,
we
let
all
me
need
know. I
assistance.
have a whole network of virtual assistants. Being my full-time job being executive assistants, we actually have a virtual assistant network that you can literally you write up your ad for the position and I can post it to them and then you can get all these qualified executive assistants can apply for it to be your virtual assistant.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. You are so resourceful, Dana.
She is.
Like, I'm like, just call Dana. She knows. Like, we were talking about you today because we're like, we need to rent some. And by the way, after taking that nap, I feel so much better.
Oh,
For
good.
those of you that don't know, I had emailed Dana earlier, and I was like, my eyes were like red, like so red. My head was just like pounding. And I was like, I don't know if I could do an hour interview. And so I was like, I'm going to force myself to try to lay down and try to sleep for a couple of hours just so that I could try to get my energy back. And it was very helpful. Then I took some vitamin C as well. So it was very, very helpful. But we were talking about you today because it was like, I was like, we're going to rent some camera equipment. So
Oh, yes.
Camera equipment. And I was like, call Dana.
Yes. Yes, I can send you some locations here in Atlanta you can rent from and we pick it up and yeah, because we do that for Anime Week in Atlanta for our video camera equipment. We rent our equipment for that.
Okay. Well, please email me because we need
Okay,
to.
I'll send that to you right after the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, looking great, Michael.
I know. I love it. It looks so cool.
Very nice. How long does it normally take? Well, you've been doing this while we're on here, so that was a silly question. I was going to say, how long does it normally take you? But I see.
I guess it really depends on how much detail. Yeah.
Normally it takes me hour and a half to 2 hours, but Dana and Moana told me that you weren't feeling well, so you were only going to be on for like 40 minutes. So I was probably sketching it out for 40 minutes beforehand.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah, because when we both you and Karen were like, we're like, Michael, what'd you like? He was like, say less, say less.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm just happy to be in the room.
So how do I get this?
Oh,
yes, once he finishes it, he's going to send it to me and Moana, and I will email it right over to you like I did with Karen. So you can literally make this into a poster to give to your like the VIPs or something like that.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so for everyone who has been sleeping on RangerStop and Pop, it's literally
right.
starting next week. Next week on Friday afternoon is when everything kicks off. If you are in the Atlanta area, we definitely would love for you to comment so you can have a chance to get a pair of tickets to come and check out RangerStop and Pop. That we'll love to give away to an audience member that is in the Atlanta area. So definitely comment ATL in the comments so we can definitely try to get you a pair of tickets so you can check out RangerStop and Pop, which will be at the Westin Buckhead, Atlanta, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So as you already heard from Nakia, there is a slew of stuff for you to enjoy. A lot, and of course they have the option, I know on their website, that you can sign up to get photo ops with the different guests. So if you want that professional photo, you can go ahead and sign up for that. So you can get that professional photo done, get that printed in 8x10, you're good to go. Or if you're just one of those that just want to have that moment with the Rangers, they will have their autograph and photo sessions. They'll probably have a little combo. You can get your autograph, photo, and everything along with some Power Ranger apparel and all kind of things that you can pick up that you would like to collect of the different Rangers. So yes, definitely come and check it out. It's going to be a whole lot of fun at the Westin Buckhead, Atlanta, if you're in the Atlanta area, or if you don't mind driving. So those that are in North Carolina, South Carolina, just a couple hour drive. Come on down. Come on down.
Yeah, I missed out this year. This year's the first year I'm hearing of it. I'm definitely signing up for next year.
There you go.
Oh. Do you live? What area do you live in, Mike?
Columbus, Ohio, but a drive to Atlanta. I just did that a couple weeks ago, so that's nothing.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be in Columbus in September, either September or October. We're going to be doing some signings at some comic book stores.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let us
I
know
definitely
whenever you're going to have a signing. We can share with our audience because they're all over the world, so they can know which places they can go and meet you and come to any of those shops. So definitely send it over to me, and then we'll definitely share it with our audience on our Facebook and Instagram and things like that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I have had a fabulous time. My
Yes.
friends. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, we're so
Yes.
glad that you were able to take some time out of your hugely busy schedule and let the audience get to know you a little bit more, and also about RangerStop and Pop, but of course, hearing about Power Rangers Playback. So everybody definitely follow. You can follow Rangers Stop and Pop on Instagram, and they're on TikTok also. You can follow, as you heard from Nakia,
Rangers
the
Playback.
yes, you can hit on both Instagram, TikTok, and everything. So, and of course, you can follow Nakia on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Nakia Burrise, on all the platforms, so you can follow her, keep updated on everything that is going on with her and everything coming down the pike. It looks like Legend Storm TV said he's going to try and come up next year from South Georgia. He can't come this year because of work, but he's definitely trying to come next year. So we
Nice.
got some people from the audience that is planning to be there next year. So I'm very excited about that.
Nice, nice, nice. Well,
So
I look
perfect.
forward to seeing you guys. I look forward to meeting you, Moana, and
Yes.
hopefully one day meeting you, Mike. And thank you so much for my beautiful picture.
Yes,
Oh,
and
no
once he's all
problem. And
done with it, he'll send it to me, and I'll shoot it right over to you so you can see the completed drawing once he's all done with the background and everything with it.
Very nice, very nice.
Well, of course, we're going to be we're very cognizant of Nakia's schedule because she's got another busy day tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and any last words you would like to say to the audience before we go ahead and let everybody go?
Thank you guys for those of you tuning in and those that will be seeing afterward. I will make sure that I repost this on my page. But I look forward to seeing you at RangerStop and Pop. Those of you that are in the Atlanta area or even the surrounding areas, again, it's this next weekend, August 27th through the 29th. We're going to have parties. We're going to have exhibitors. We're going to have a lot of Rangers, meet your favorite stars. We're going to have a safe, fun time. Oh, yeah, that's also something I wanted to say because we've gotten a lot of emails about the coronavirus and what are the precautions and things. Right now inside of the hotel, it is mandated to wear masks. So we are asking everyone to bring a mask. We will also have masks at registration to pass out to you. Photo ops, the professional photo ops will be safe. We'll also have a divider in between, which you won't even be able to see. So you'll safely be able to take professional photo ops with the celebrity of your choice. At the tables, you can bring some were asking if they could bring their own paint pens because they might want the celebrity to sign with their, specific paint pen. You can bring that. The celebrity will have wipes, so all they have to do is wipe it down and, use that if that's what they so choose. But we're going to have a great time. Yes, COVID is happening, but that doesn't mean that we cannot live. So come have a great time. We will see you next weekend. And thank you all for tuning in and being here today. Yay.
Awesome.
Well, everybody, you hear that. So definitely make sure you have your mask, come and attend. Of course, if you're in the Atlanta or in the willing to make the drive, comment in the comment section ATL, and that way we can get a chance for you to get some tickets so you can join us for RangerStop and Pop next weekend. So definitely comment. And if you're watching this on the replay, when Nakia shares it, anybody of our fans that didn't get any tickets and you are planning to come to Atlanta, make sure you comment ATL so we can get a chance to pull your name and get you a pair of tickets so you can come to RangerStop and Pop. Well, everyone, once again, thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday. We look forward to seeing you next week. Starting next Thursday, we'll be broadcasting live at RangerStop and Pop. We'll have our 2 episodes with Rain Talks. Our therapist, she will be talking at 7:00 p.m. on the topic of depression. And then at 8:30, we're going to have our interracial dating panel. So we're going to talk about the ins and outs of interracial dating. And then, of course, the whole entire weekend, you'll get to see us broadcasting live, talking to various guests at RangerStop and Pop. So you get to hear us asking questions to some of your favorite Power Rangers and some of your favorite voice actors while we're there. So definitely tune in when we'll share our schedule. So you can definitely make sure you tune in for any of those episodes. But Moana, you have any last words before we get ready to end the show?
Nope. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week at RangerStop and Pop.
All right, everybody. Have a good evening and have a lovely weekend. We'll see you on Thursday next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.